Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. The male selection criteria. Now, I've talked a lot about the female selection criteria, right? I always talk about that and how they divide men into certain categories and stuff. But the thing is, I haven't really talked about is the men's selection criteria. And I want to address that criteria because, recently I've been talking about how many women, regardless of their station in life, think they have a chance at that top man. They fantasize about him. We have movies, TV shows, all of that. We actually have the whole romance industry is more or less based on that. A lot of like you got so much. It's I could probably take an hour to mention everything. See, women, no matter what, in general, some women are very pragmatic, but many women have that hypergamous nature. Not to say they can practice it. One thing I want to make clear, because I've stated that publicly, and I'm not sure if people really understood what I was saying. I was saying women can be hypergamous, but only a few can actually do it. But regardless, the bottom line is women in general want to trade up. And that's the whole thing behind their selection criteria. It's really about comparing one man to the next. Women, on the other hand, aren't as lucky with the male selection criteria. Because a woman will at least compare a man to another man. Even if it's some little fantasy thing. Right? It's still compared to another man. But the male selection criteria is based on the attainment of that perfect female. Now, to understand, many men, just because of their station in life, they'll take what they get, right? And they don't have any. Even though we want that, that beauty queen or that real sexy video model or something, we'll take that slightly dumpy woman who's plain and maybe has just a slight attitude. We'll deal with our stuff long enough. Many men will settle for that. Now, those are just the regular guys out there, the everyday guys on the street, all that stuff, right? As a man develops his wealth, his possessions, as he develops his body, as he increases his what many folks in the manosphere call his sexual market value, he basically upgrades to what he wants. And as he upgrades more and more, he's more able to practice the real, the male selection criteria. Now, the select and non-select isn't the same as it is for the women. It's basically based on sexual icons. Now, the icon, that's that perfect woman based on whatever the current fine women are, video women, maybe even women like models or beauty queens, whatever the movie stars are, pop stars, whatever the sexy woman is, that's the model. That's the model. And what happens is, because throughout history, men have always, we've always deemed ourselves a superior sex. And I know some people want to argue about that, whatever, but I'm just telling you how things are. We might not see, as a man gets more and more power, we might not see a woman as so much a partner, but as someone to acquire. And that's especially the case with men at a higher level. That whole trophy thing. So we're comparing, when we're looking at a woman, when men at the higher level are looking at a woman, it's not so much about the it's not so much about what her. It's definitely not about her education or anything like that. It's about how fine she is, how good she look on her arms, all of that. That's why when women, they sit around and they say they want those top guys, they don't realize to those top guys, they basically non-select. They being compared to the finest women. And if they do not look like those women in any way or behave like, the guys think these women will behave, if they not the type of woman that a man can take, a successful man particularly can take around on his arm, they non-select. These are the women who are the 100 octane women that the master teacher talks about, master teacher BGS. Those fine women. You get that woman, you letting everybody know. And like I said, most guys, hey, they not at that level. But if you get those men who are celebrities, they millionaires, they got some level of looks, they not satisfied until they acquire that icon. It's part of the chase. That's the whole thing. It's part of the chase. Now, a lot of guys can't relate to what I just said. I'll put it like this, fellas. Get your money up, get your weight up, change your social circles. You'll see. You're not going to want to deal with, maybe that plain Jane that you used to deal with. Because all of a sudden, if you got some wealth, you can get a finer car, and it's like, you got that personal trainer that can get your body right. You can get your suits tailor-made. That woman that you used to deal with who had that slight attitude ain't going to work for you. You going to want more. See, we talk a lot about a woman's hypergamy, but shit. We're practical, but if we get the chance to go up, we do. We want it. On the real, that's part of the reason behind a lot of sex tourism. Men just want better women. And that's what we're doing. We want the fine ones. We done arrived and stuff, right? And I know guys, they done arrived. They just say, they've actually told me. They've said it. And trust me, from personal experience, I know that. You can't, it's hard to dip down once you've gone up. You're just like, wait a minute, I can get better women. Now, I ain't saying these women love them or anything. And these women can be high maintenance. But shoot, it's not about that with these guys. It's about that attainment. Getting that 10, getting that dime, being able to walk around with her. I mean, that's a dynamic with escorts. High-end escorts make their money. Not because they fucking the guy's brains out or something, but because they have the beauty and the class to walk around with this money guy, this successful guy, and not embarrass him. Because it says to the other people, yeah, I've made it. Because remember, as our nature is to see women as a part of us, to bring her into our boundary. That's our nature. And to be honest, I know some women, they get mad if they hear something like that. If a woman can understand that about a man's nature, she'll never be without a man. And she will always have men who will pay all her bills, everything, without her even having to ask, give her whatever. If a woman understands that simple concept. Learn to submit to a man, and believe it or not, that man is really submitting to you, because basically he working to pay you. Now, ladies, I just gave you some game. But the first part is you have to be a part of his boundary. You accept that leadership. But that's starting to go off on another tangent. Let's stick with the men's selection criteria, particularly successful men, because as a man gets more and more, as it gets more and more chips, more bargaining chips, more options, he wants to find a woman. And if a woman does not measure up to the current icon, she can give up giving that high post man, that master of the universe, as my brother Obsidian would call them. She can give that shit up because we're not going to want it, and we are unapologetic for it. And indeed, even some men who maybe not at that level still going to go for it. They were like, you know what? I'd rather be by myself, play PlayStation, or just go out, just have fun, do whatever, than deal with anything that's less than an icon. They don't use the term icon, but anything less than that beautiful woman, anything less than that dime. And this is despite many of us coming on here talking about men need to deal with plainer women or adjustable sevens. As a man gets up there more, it's hard to tell him he needs to dip down. In fact, his peers probably wouldn't let him. In fact, I'm going to tell you something deep. Even some women won't let him dip down. I remember, I ain't going to use that example, but I've seen several examples of that. In fact, I talked about that in a video. Sometimes women, they harder on a woman than somebody else. If they see a guy, he got money, he handsome, he got something going on. Other women, and they see his woman, she got to be sharp, not just for the man, but for them. Because they're going to tear into her. They're going to be like, damn, why she wearing those shoes? What's up with her hair? So in a way, women kind of enforce that. They kind of saying, hey, that dude all that. This is the type of woman he should be with. In fact, I'm going to use that example that I wasn't going to use. Dwayne Wade's first wife. Now, I remember when I read about him years ago, they were together. She was with him, at the get-go before he was big. Now, I don't know what personal happened to him, but I do like to break them up. And, we all know he got with Gabrielle Union. But I'm going to tell you what. I remember seeing some message boards about him. Women were tearing into her. Not the dudes. Women were tearing into her. So in a way, women enforce that icon thing too. That woman, she was just an ordinary looking woman. And I was like, hey, way to go. That's cool. I thought it was cool. I'm a person believing supporting those who support you. But women were like, nah, he can do better. Oh, she ugly. She is all that. That was women. So women support that same thing. So I don't want no women coming on here talking about, well, men shouldn't do that. Nah, y'all support that criteria too, because y'all competing to be that icon. Yeah, I'm going to let that sink in a bit. But that's the criteria for men, though. We want that top woman. The top ones want the dime. I don't care what any of us tell them otherwise. They get that money, shoot. And I even know some person heard the videos. They say, yeah, bro. Yeah, that adjustable 7 is cool, bro. I ain't messing with it. You tell the rest of them that. I ain't doing it, bro. I make too much money. My house too big. I've had them say this. A couple dudes say that. That follow me on the, they don't really comment, but, they know what's up. They say, yeah, nah, bro. Get your passport to Brazil, bro. Forget all that. They want that icon. And like I said, that's not even just brothers and stuff, man. That's all over. In fact, white men, they worse with it than brothers are. You get some white men, that woman ain't looking like a 10. They like, forget that noise. They serious about it. And that's our criteria. It's like, ladies, I'm sorry I had to be the one to tell you. A lot of y'all non-select to a brother. Or, a cool white guy. Y'all not men, period. A lot of y'all non-select. If y'all not looking like that icon, and like we ain't breaking it down like y'all break us down. Cause even the 4 categories I gave, I've had some women who first read my book back when it first came out. They were trying to give me more categories. They told me I ain't go far enough. They were adding shit in. But see, men, we ain't deep like that. The woman either fine or she not. And that's cool. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.